Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson. We are answering a major question for small business owners right now. How can you fund your business with unsecured loans without using collateral? Here to show us the way is Amanda Webster. She's the COO of Fund and Grow. Fund and Grow is dedicated to business owners. Amanda, welcome back.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Let's talk about small businesses here. What factors should businesses consider when choosing an unsecured loan provider?
Well, there's a lot out there, so you got to be really careful. But the main thing is finding out what their minimum baseline criteria is and seeing what options you have, right? Everything has a cost of capital. So, what options do you have? And you should always have multiple because it is really hard to get funded with unsecured. So, making sure you understand all those pieces is vital to choosing the right one.
And the big question here is, how do the unsecured loans differ from traditional secured loans, especially if you're kind of a first-time small business owner looking to try and figure out how to finance your business?
Right. So unsecured literally by definition means we're not tying collateral or assets to it. So in the old, traditional way of securing loans, they're going to tie it to either the business, what the business owns, whether it's a building or land. And that's going to kind of put you in a risky position if you then default on it. So in an unsecured world, you're able to get funding without tying it to those assets and basically limiting that risk factor for you.
So I guess, what are the main options and advantages if you're opting for an unsecured business loan, especially for startups or small businesses that might not have the collateral to offer? I mean, obviously the information that you just mentioned there, but what else could you suggest to other folks looking to apply for a loan?
So you want to make sure, I know it sounds crazy, but that your personal credit is kind of in a great position because that's going to be one of the offsets to get unsecured lending is to have that, backing there. Also, you're going to want to make sure that you have the right, you know, uh, revenue coming in, looking at that, small businesses. There is lending out there in an unsecured world that you only have to be in business for 6 months. So there's options out there. I mean, as you grow in your seasoning, it's going to get more and more, but you can go as little as 6 months and be able to get unsecured funding. But you want to make sure that you are looking at all the options because there's different vehicles for it, right? There's lines of credit, there's actual where they'll just put cash into your bank account, there's business credit cards, there's all kinds of different unsecured lending that you can get access to and not tie to those collateral pieces. But you will have to leverage other things like, say, your personal credit.
I guess the question would be, if you're just starting out, it's hard to show profit right out of the gate. So are they looking at profit as a way to determine what kind of unsecured loan they will give you?
So they're going to look at revenue. So you don't have to worry about your profitability
Okay.
necessarily in these types of loans, but they are going to look at that revenue coming in every month. And it's going to range anywhere from 10,000 a month all the way up to like 40,000 a month. So there is something there. There are choices and options out there, but the limited revenue you have will limit the amount of funding you can get. But you know what? Even if you can get $20,000, that could help you get to that next phase in business.
Sure. Interest rates are a big topic of conversation, whether it comes to credit cards or loans. How can business owners ensure they qualify for the best rates and terms when applying for these unsecured loans?
So again, I know it sounds crazy, but they all look at your personal. So you're going to want your personal credit score at a 700. That's going to be able to unlock all the different types that are out there. And then you want to get the best revenue sources you can get in there. So they only care about deposits. So just make sure you're actually depositing all of your revenue into that business bank account. Make sure you have a business bank account. Separate all your personal from it so that you can show that the business is generating that revenue. And then also just make sure that you have a true business setup. Your entity is set up correctly. You have an actual office space. Even if it's in your home, it's better than having, a UPS store type of office, mailbox. So you want to make sure you look like a legitimate business as you go into these types of funding.
And especially when it comes to filing those taxes, that's so important. With the growing popularity of online lenders for unsecured business loans, what are the key risks people should watch out for? Last question, just a quick wrap up from you.
Always looking for the scam or the fraud side, right? Do your research as a consumer, even though it's for the business, and make sure that that these businesses are legitimate and that they are lending money because you will find yourself into some scams.
Amanda Webster, great information. For more on how to earn and use business credit, go to fundandgrow.com.